We look back and we remember the lockdowns, we remember the quarantines, the mask mandates, the vaccine mandates, all of the bitter argument that has preceded and followed in the wake of these measures. We look at the school closures, the church closures, the business closures, and all that's meant for small businesses. And we see that the $6 trillion the federal government spent under both Democrat and Republican administrations, that the effects of this anesthesia is wearing off and we're facing some hard realities on our economy. So we need to start asking questions now that inflation is spiraling and we see businesses that aren't reopening and we see other questions that are very important and pressing in the minds of Americans. It seems we're at an inflection point. We need for government, starting at the White House and in Congress, proceeding to governorships and mayorships throughout the country, we need to have a discussion, a candid discussion about what worked and what didn't. For this to happen, we need humility. We need good faith also presumed on the part of these officials so that this isn't an exercise in recrimination, but simply an exercise in seeking the truth so that we can learn from our lessons and move forward united as a country. Until the NIH and CDC admits what they did right and did wrong and presents this to the American public and says we will learn from these lessons, there will not be public confidence in these institutions. Because we now know that the vaccines and the boosters do not prevent us from getting a new infection, and they also don't prevent us from transmitting it to others. And so we're learning to live with the coronavirus, and we've benefited from these vaccine interventions that have saved lives and reduced hospitalizations. What we now need to do is to talk about how we can focus our protection efforts in the future so that we don't damage our economy like we now see it. This lesson learning exercise, this public discussion needs to start now because we need to have confidence in our public health officials and in our government officials before the next new variant, subvariant, or other form of the virus comes upon us and requires Americans to respond.